Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is June 1st, 2024. I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Great to be back with you today. We're going to have a special episode because I have to break down the number one prospect in this draft class, and you will only hear it here. No one else is talking about him. Isaiah Collier. In my opinion, he is the number one prospect in this draft class, and the draft is coming soon in about 4 weeks. The lottery came out March 12th. We see the Hawks have the first pick in the draft, Wizards number two, but the draft is June 26th, and we got to get into it. So let's get straight to it like there's nothing to it. Isaiah Collier was ranked 11th by ESPN coming into the cycle as soon as the college season ended. Right now, they have dropped him down 10 spots. He is ranked 21st by ESPN. That is ridiculous, in my opinion. If you don't know Isaiah Collier, he is the 6'4", 205-pound USC point guard. He averaged 16 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1.5 steals per game at USC, shot 49% from the field, and 34% from three-point range. He's a 67% free throw shooter, which people will knock him for. But he did play 30 minutes per game. He's 19 years old, had 3 turnovers per game. Now, let's start this by saying he was the number one prospect entering the college season last season into the 2023 class. So it's not far-fetched to say that he's the number one player, but I am not banking it off of that. I start scouting players once the season is over. I saw he was ranked 11th. As soon as I saw the tape on Isaiah Collier, I said, this is the guy. This is the number one player right here. When you're scouting these guys, a lot of the rankings they have are safe plays, it seems to me, because they have a bunch of role players ranked in the top 10. For the most part, Isaiah Collier is the most dynamic player in this draft class. He's lightning fast. He has that wow factor. He has great size. A lot of point guards are 6'1", 6'2" coming into this draft class. And that doesn't really cut it in the NBA unless you're elite at something or elite in general. But so, at 6'4", he has great size and he's a good shooter. People want to knock him for his shooting, but he's a good shooter. And everyone that's in college will progress and be better in the NBA. In one aspect, the NBA is harder than college, but in another, you have no school, no other obligations. You have shooting coaches that are there to enhance your game, not just your head coach, your shooting coaches. So, he's already a solid three-point shooter. So he's already in good shape. You look at a guy like Scoot Henderson, he was shooting in the 20% as far as three-point range. His jumper was not there. He was the number 3 pick in the draft. So Isaiah Collier ahead of Scoot Henderson right now as far as shooting. But the shooting is above average at his position, and that's in my opinion. He is an electric player, has a great handle, great crossover. Any court he steps on, Isaiah Collier is going to be the fastest guy on that court. He blows by his defenders. He can hit step back threes. He can get his shot. Well, this is one of the most important things people are looking for when scouting. Can he create for himself? Can he create his own shot? He can most definitely create his own shot at any given time. It's times where he's unselfish, where he could be going for his, and he's making the pass, which a point guard should do. But he can back down his defender and play a little bully ball with smaller guards because he has great size, great weight for his position as well. Some of these point guards are 170, 180. And like I said, what I say, he's 205. He might be 210 at this point. There are some big men in this draft that are 205, 210, 215. So it's gonna be interesting to see, he that adds another aspect to his game that a lot of point guards don't have. He's one of the best point guard prospects I've seen in a while, honestly. Some teams may not like his excessive fancy ball handling at times, which he does do at times, but that can be coached if that's a problem in the NBA. I don't think it is, but if coaches see that, they will be on his tail, to get him to correct that. And he's the type of player that I'm sure will go for that coaching and to up his game. If you want to say there's a knock on his game, I think he needs to get more assists because he only averaged 4 per game. So you want to see more than that as a point guard, but I will say he did have little help out there. He was not surrounded by the greatest of talents. On paper, he was, but he was not. But he is definitely a beast out there. He's a top 3 prospect in this draft class without question. Like for me, he's number 1, but for all the other evaluators, I don't see how he's not even top 3 because he's clearly top 3. So I don't know. Isaiah Collier must have been overshadowed by Bronny, and Dennis Rodman's son is there as well. So they had a lot of famous kids at USC playing along with him. So the flash of USC, Bronny got all the spotlight. You heard about him more than Isaiah Collier for sure. After he had his cardiac arrest and his first few games, and when his dad would come to the game. So I don't know if that was it or not, but he got overshadowed because if he was at a different school, I believe there would be more talk about him. And obviously, they did not win a lot of games. They had a bad team, and that did not help. But I think he would be talked about a lot more if his season went a little better as far as team success. If you want to knock him for that, you can say his team he didn't ascend his team to help them win. USC ended up 15-18, but I don't blame that all on him. And I don't think it will be an issue in the NBA. We've seen great point guards on bad teams lose, like Kyrie Irving. He couldn't do anything until LeBron got there. He was not elevating that team at all. But once he got some help, things changed. Isaiah Collier has great passing ability. And like I said, I just want to see more. He shows great court vision at times, other than when he's over dribbling. But he's a good help defender, especially in the paint. He's tremendous at getting steals. That's very important. That's very key. You'll see him being compared to some defensive point guards that are kind of backups and role players. But in my opinion, he has that offensive talent. I mean, clearly he has the offensive talent to be more than that. Because getting steals seems to be his thing, almost 2 per game. He has great speed and hands that help him with steals. His vision may be better on defense than it is on offense. I mean, he sees plays coming before they happen, and that's only going to get better in the NBA as well with the film, the excessive film watching they're going to be doing. Now, he also can guard and stay in front of his man. He's a pro already at 18, 19. He didn't even need this year in college, in my opinion, because USC is not really a program that advances your talent. So I think he would have been much better if he went like to the G League Ignite or some other school. But he's ready to compete now in the NBA. He's got an NBA body, all the skills. He can stop on a dime, pull up with the J, or get by his man, get to the rack. He can run the offense and pass his teammates open for easy buckets. And you could tell by his body, and by the way he plays in the paint, that he played football growing up. It shows. He's strong enough to get in the paint and handle himself. He doesn't get pushed around, bumped around out of the frame. He has elite change of direction. He makes dynamic plays that pop on the screen. He can do any and everything you need for an NBA team. Isaiah Collier creates space with his body in the paint. He shoulder bumps his way to the hoop to get open shots or just get to the rack. And, players that he has size advantages are over skinnier point guards. And when he gets to the NBA, they will be a little bit bigger, but still he'll be right in, fitting with them. And some of them he still will be able to bully in the NBA, believe it or not. He has a killer crossover, which you love, but he doesn't rely on it. He can still get by you without it. So he has an array of ways to get by you. You can see that he is a star pretty clearly. People focus on the turnovers, but he cut his turnovers down in the second half of the season. And like I said, comparing him to average point guards or backups, it's just ridiculous to me. The player that I see in comparison to Isaiah Collier is John Wall, another former first pick overall in the NBA draft. Numbers are almost identical. John Wall averaged 16.6 points, 4 boards, 6.5 assists per game, and 1.8 steals per game. Remember, I told you Isaiah Collier, 16 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1.5 steals per game. And John Wall had 4 turnovers per game. Isaiah Collier had 3 turnovers per game. Look how similar that is. So far, it's pretty much identical, except John Wall has 2.5 more assists per game when he was at Kentucky. Now, John Wall shot 32% from three-point range. Isaiah Collier shot 34% from three-point range. John Wall shot 46% from the field. Collier 49% from the field. So people want to say his shooting is not there. These numbers are on comparison to John Wall, and the shooting numbers are better than John Wall. And John Wall is on a better team where he's not getting doubled. And, it's easier for him to do more at Kentucky than it was for Collier to do on the bad team. Everyone knew you need to watch Collier. You don't have to double Bronny. You don't have to double Dennis Robinson. You know what I mean? So think about that. So if Collier is on a better team, look out. But as far as Collier and John Wall, they're the same height, similar play style, similar stats. John Wall is faster and a better passer, but Collier is still fast, like I said earlier. But Isaiah Collier is the better shooter, and this is just comparing college seasons. John Wall clearly got even a little bit better and became a multi-year All-Star, and he would still be playing right now if he wasn't derailed by injuries. So, think about it that way. I don't know what evaluators are thinking about now. I haven't heard much talk about Isaiah Collier at all, honestly. Everyone's talking about the same guys over and over. But if you look at the film, Isaiah Collier is the #1 player in this draft. He was ranked #1 in the class coming into college. He had a hand injury during the season and missed a month of school. Had a 31-point game against Washington. And, for his style of play, it just fits the NBA today to a T. The wide open up and down play, it tells me he will be a potentially great starting point guard in today's game. He's a great passer, great pick and roll player. So if you get him a big that's a lob threat, that will be so much fun to watch. He has a reliable mid-range game that will only get better. So I think Isaiah Collier is a guy to look out for. And if he falls to 21, that's just a team that doesn't deserve him will get him. This is what the good teams in the NBA do. They see the talent that falls, and they just falls in their lap. So look for a team like Miami or something. If he falls in their lap, they have a starting point guard for the future. But any knock you have on him, I don't think it can't be corrected. If you say he over dribbles, okay, that's coaching. If you say he takes bad shots, that's coaching as well. And he won't have to do that as much in the NBA on a better team. So the Hawks have 2 stud point guards. They don't need Isaiah Collier, and I'm fine with that. But if I'm the Wizards, I'm thinking about Isaiah Collier. Get him in for a workout. See if he fits the way you need. But Isaiah Collier is more than worthy than the #1, #2, #3 spot. He's my #1 prospect in this draft class. And so I want to hear your feedback on that. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot to say. No one is going to agree with me. I know it. But I think all the naysayers are, nitpicking him to a point where they're not nitpicking others. Everything that you want him to do, a lot he corrected on his own, and a lot he will be able to correct in the NBA. And you can't, like, Rob Dillingham is the second best point guard in this draft class, in my opinion. But other than that, it's not even close with other point guards. So, and we see the way the NBA is going today. The point guards were so important in the NBA playoffs. You seen Jalen Brunson. You saw Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton if he wasn't banged up. Kyrie, Luka, whatever you want to say about that. Drew Holiday on the Celtics. Having a great point guard can truly elevate your team. We saw Tyrese Maxey fell to 21, which Collier is projected at right now. And you see what happened. All those teams missed on Tyrese Maxey. And if I were to say Tyrese Maxey was the #1 player in the draft, you would call me crazy. He went 21. I'm saying that about Isaiah Collier. He doesn't play like necessarily like Tyrese Maxey. But what I'm saying is just because someone is ranked low, you have to watch the film. Isaiah Collier is that guy. Number one prospect, in my opinion. I can't wait till June. Can't wait to hear your opinions on this. Follow me at William is Bill on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate y'all for supporting me. Subscribe to the All Rookie Podcast. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.